JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. Squash is allegedly the leader of a transnational criminal organization. U.S. federal authorities allege that 32-year-old Jamaican dancehall artist Squash, real name Andre Morris Whitaker, is the leader of a transnational criminal organization. According to newly unsealed court documents, Squash is facing serious charges that could land him behind bars for more than a decade and potentially see him deported from the United States. The Fed says Squash's troubles began in 2023 when he was stopped doing a routine traffic check by deputies from the Borough Sheriff's Office. That stop led to a bombshell discovery. Squash had allegedly entered the U.S. illegally on January 20, 2021 without passing through an illegal checkpoint. An informant reportedly told authorities that Squash slipped across the border illegally, a move allegedly connected to his involvement in the G-City gang, which U.S. officials say he leads. The gang, based in Jamaica, is believed to have been at the center of a violent feud in the parish of St. James, a conflict that authorities claim has now spilled over into the streets of Florida. Following his initial arrest, Squash was handed over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, where he spent nearly 2 months in detention awaiting removal proceedings, but he was released on bond after marrying a U.S. citizen while in custody. That same woman, according to federal investigators, is said to have purchased one of the 2 guns Squash was found with during a traffic stop earlier this year in late February. Now, the FBI says there is probable cause to charge Squash with 2 federal crimes, being an illegal alien in possession of a gun and unlawful possession of a machine gun. Each count carries a maximum of 10 years in prison, or potentially more if prior convictions are taken into account. If convicted, Squash could also face deportation. As of now, Squash remains in custody at the Miami Detention Center under the supervision of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. The case, United States versus Whitaker, is scheduled to begin on September 2 in the Southern District of Florida. However, prosecutors have given him until August 26 to accept a plea deal and avoid trial. Man out on bail for murder fatally shot by police in St. James. A 20-year-old man who was being investigated for several murders, shootings and robberies in St. James was fatally shot during a police operation in Farm Heights on Tuesday. Romario Ferguson, otherwise called JT, was killed during a reported confrontation. According to reports, about 10 p.m., a police team conducted a targeted operation at Eagle Drive in Farm Heights in search of Ferguson, who was said to be in possession of a gun. When accosted, it is alleged that Ferguson opened fire on the police team. During an exchange, he was fatally shot, and a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 3 rounds reportedly seized. The police say Ferguson, who was out on bail for murder, was under investigation for 4 more murders committed in St. James. Family calls for justice after St. Mary man killed by off-duty cop. The family for St. Mary man is calling for a thorough investigation by the authorities after he was killed, reportedly by an off-duty cop, in the Preston Hill community on Sunday morning. According to eyewitness accounts, the police officer and the 24-year-old Ricardo Small got into an argument which escalated into a fight. Speaking on Tuesday, Ricardo's father, Richard Small, said he attempted to break up the fight between his son and the cop.
By the time I come across the road, him up on my son again with the gun in. Point the gun in her face. I never shoot him, don't shoot her, but my son jump up again and grab him. And him and him wrestle and come across, and I look at our bus and park right or so. And slam in our bus. Me, hold my son hand, and his mother hold him back way like this. Hold him back way like this. But Mr. Hill then again hold my son like this, with the gun down here so. And Mr. Hill, and me hold him with my left hand and hold Mr. Hill. And with the gun. So he point with the gun, come up, and rest in my son's heart. Rest in her heart and fire a shot and kill my son. And my son just walk up from there and come a second job. Right now, I'm not telling you lie, boss. I want justice to my son, you know, because my son has no wrongs do, he not do nothing at all. He not do the man nothing at all. All they have a little argument and he kill my son just to that. I don't know if my son is no robber or a thief. Nobody there don't know him as that. Or no gunman or anything. And the man just in an argument with my son and kill him for nothing at all. So mother like justice serve. And my one son become a president candidate. 30 years now I live up here. And my son live till him at 24 and he never in no problem with the police nor nobody or nothing at all. So mother like justice serve.
Meanwhile, Small's mother, Dorrit Somerville, who had also been holding on to her son during the incident, was treated at hospital for a bullet wound to the shoulder.
He glazed off my daughter hand. See her yesterday.
He got through him?
Yes.
Like through your son?
Yes.
When the shot got through your son's body?
And glazed off my daughter hand and it stuck right in my shoulder. Yes.
Our daughter was reportedly also grazed by the same bullet. The Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM has been collecting statements as part of its probe into the incident. 32 members of the security forces charged since 2024. The Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM is reporting that 32 members of the security forces have been charged since 2024 and brought before the court for various offenses, including fatal shootings. The law enforcement personnel were charged following rulings by the Director of Public Prosecutions. According to the data, 9 members are before the courts for fatal shootings which occurred last year. 16 have been charged with cases of assault, 1 case of road death, 1 case of hit-and-run collision, a case of discharge of firearm, 4 cases of a shooting injury, and 1 case of malicious destruction of property. 3 St. Catherine councillors to be charged for breaching IC Act. Acting Director of Corruption and Prosecution at the Integrity Commission, Ronnie Florence, has ruled that 3 councillors at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation should be charged for failure to file statutory declarations. The breach falls under Section 43(1)A of the Integrity Commission Act. The councillors are Dwight Burke, who represents the Sligoville Division, Donovan Guy of the Twickenham Park Division, and Van Rick Preddy, the Elsha Division. Burke was cited for failing to submit his statutory declaration for 2022 by the due date. Guy failed to do so over a 4-year period from 2019 to 2022, and Preddy for the years 2019, 2021, and 2022. Director of Investigations, Kevin Stevenson, in his report at Parliament Table Tuesday, said the councillors failed to provide reasonable cause for not filing their declarations on time. Stevenson said all were given the opportunity to discharge liability by paying the fixed penalty and submitting the outstanding statutory declarations, but there was only partial compliance, as when the required statutory declarations were eventually submitted, the councillors failed to pay the fixed penalty. Therefore, Stevenson said they were found to have failed to discharge their liabilities, consistent with Section 43(3) of the Integrity Commission Act. PNP protesters take government to task over country's management. High-ranking People's National Party PNP members and supporters on Wednesday morning gathered in Old Harbour Park Square to register their disappointment with the Jamaica Labour Party's management of the country's affairs. Done in party colours alongside supporters, PNP President Mark Golding again took aim at the controversial appointment of Chartered Accountant Dennis Strong as Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. He argued that in the nearly 10 years that the government has been in office, it has continually breached what it takes to govern the country in accordance with principle.
10 years, and they have continually breached what it takes to govern the country in accordance with principle. And why does it matter, people? Why does it matter, comrade? Because we need all the resources that we can muster to make life better for the people of Jamaica. We need resources to fix the health system so that when you go to the hospital or you go to a clinic and you need something that is going to help you to get better or some tests to find out what is wrong with you, you can get it done there because they have the material they need and the equipment is work. We needed money to fix the road network in the country, which has been neglected over the 9 years of the Jamaica Labour Party, and they're scrambling when elections are upon them to spark or to reach, but them can't spark and them not reach because the people of Jamaica done make up their mind already that this government not ready and them have to go down. How can they say that the Corner Regional Hospital is anything but a complete disaster for the people of Jamaica? Over $20 billion of projected expenditure, 7 years of work, and it can't finish, and the people of Western Jamaica are suffering without a Type A hospital. When we see the school system and the underperformance of our bright children, and they're doing nothing about improving what is happening, we need a fundamental change in education, and that will be a key pillar of the People's National Party's policy and program because we have the brightness, we have the talent, but we need to nurture it and support it in the right way. Comrades, we support good mind, we support principle, we support righteousness, we support upliftment of people, we support honesty in public life, we support delivering what the people of Jamaica are asking for. This is why we will not stop advocating for the people, advocating with good mind, because we believe in what is right and just.
Yesterday, an article came out which showed that a particular school, 70% of those in first form could read or write. Now, can you imagine that? After almost 10 years in office, this government presides over education system where 70% of our children cannot read and write in first form. And that is why we have said we are going to invest in education. We're going to put the money in basic and primary school so that your children will get a solid education. We're going to put the money in a program to ensure that every child who is in need gets at least one meal per day when they go to school, so that your parents don't have no excuse and send them down a bus lunch money for sending. We're going to put in place a transportation system so that even if you don't have the bus fare, you get a subsidy to send your child to school. We are investing in the future of our country because Jamaica can only grow if the people standard of living is lifted and your skills are lifted. So I want to urge you, from Southwest St. Catherine, send a message. From the entire St. Catherine, all across Jamaica, Jamaica is ready for change.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.